Welcome to another episode of Sony Simplified. I'm your host, Joe from Sony.
Hey, I'm Ross from Sony. Thanks for joining today.
Thank you, Ross. Today, we are going to show you how to update the firmware on your alt wireless speakers. But before we get into that, one thing that I always get asked when I'm in my stores is what's my favorite thing about Sony wireless speakers? I know my answer. Ross, what's yours?
Well, look, the good news about, working for Sony is we make really great products, and our audio products sound really, really good. I happen to be lucky enough to have the Alt 5, which I think is a great speaker. So if you haven't picked one of these up and you want something that's going to rock the house, this is definitely going to get the job done. But look, the good news about Sony products is they sound great. They last a long time. We have tremendous battery life, when you think about some of our competitors. So just some of those things that kind of just things that, they kind of, in my opinion, kind of make it, a step above maybe a competitor's model.
Yeah, I love the lightweight and portability of this alt-filled one. I can throw it in my golf bag, put it in the golf cart, and enjoy hours of playback while I'm trying to find my balls in the woods.
Nice. Takes you from double bogey down to single bogey, maybe,
Not quite. I still lose 2 boxes of balls every time I go.
Times.
We are live today, so if you guys have any questions or any comments, please feel free to drop them in the chat. And don't forget to like and subscribe, so that way you can reference this video or you can follow us for any future episodes that may interest you. Today, the 3 topics we're going to cover is which app to use, how to check to see if you have a firmware update, and then actually updating the firmware on your wireless speaker. Now, kind of a little disclaimer, we have 2 different apps that you can use. The new app that we launched a couple months ago is the Sound Connect app. If you have a newer version of the alt speakers, like the 3 or the 5, you can go right into that app right from the start and do your firmware update in there and control everything from your headphones to your wireless speakers. For the purpose of this video today, we're really going to be showing you how to update the alt-filled 1. And if you have an alt-filled 1 or an alt-filled 7, you're going to start with the Music Center app. So you're going to go in to the App Store on your phone. You're going to type in Music Center. As you can see on the screen, I already have it downloaded on my phone, so I'm going to hit open. But if you don't, you just click install. To start the process, first take the USB-C cable that comes in the box with your wireless speaker. Plug it in and then simply turn the power on your speaker and hit the Bluetooth button. And as you can see on the screen, it will pop up into the app. And then you can just click on it, and then at the bottom of the screen, it will show you have a firmware update available. You can click OK on that, read through the disclaimer, and hit OK again. Before we get into the actual updating of the wireless speaker, Ross, why is it important to update the firmware on your wireless speakers?
Yeah, it's a great question. So, Sony is a company of evolution. And so when you think about our TV products, soundbar products, wireless speakers, headphones, we're always trying to make sure that those perform at their best. And, Sony will push updates not only to the app, and I'll give you an example of that because I just did it myself today, but it can also add things into the performance of the product, whether it's sound quality or extended battery life, or things that are going to be unique that Sony's going to want to make sure that those products perform the way they need to. The example I'll give you today is I just downloaded the new update to the Sound Connect app, and what was cool about that is it added 2 new features. It added DJ control and a party light control that wasn't on the app initially. So when you start to think about like, why should I do those updates? It's kind of all of those things, right? It's something that's going to improve the app performance, and it's something that's also going to probably improve or, make things better inside the speaker.
I mean, I personally love if my speakers run flawlessly. So if downloading a firmware update helps that run better, then that's great. Personally, I have all of my stuff that I have from Sony, whether it's headphones, my TV, my soundbar, they're all set to automatically either notify me of a firmware update or just simply to update it while they're resting. So now that we're going to start the firmware update, it's going to take probably about 5 to 10 minutes, depending on how big of the firmware update is. As soon as it finishes, your speaker will shut off. But since you plugged in the USB-C cable, you're gonna have a little orange indicator light underneath the power button that tells you when you can turn it back on. So when you turn it back on, it will take a couple seconds to show back up in the app. Once it does, it will tell you that it's updated to the current firmware version. And then after that, you can take that speaker, or if you're doing the Alt 7, and now you can use it inside the Sound Connect app. A few weeks ago, Ross and Jen did a video on updates and improvements to the Sound Connect app. I recommend going and check it out. But since we got Ross here, Ross, what are some of the things that stand out from that?
Yeah, the Sound Connect app has a lot of cool features, and what you're seeing on screen here is just a representation of what that app is. And one of the features a lot of people like is dark mode. They do like to use their devices in that dark mode feature. So if you do like that kind of darkened background, you can use that. A couple of other features that I think are really unique that are built into this app, and you can access them right from the device settings feature. So if you go to open the app, go to device settings, it will pull up another field, and then you'll see at the top, there'll be sound and system. And you'll see a feature set that will allow you to make a lot of cool adjustments. Things like, adjusting the lights, you can see it there on the screen. So that's your sound. So you have your alt settings there, custom EQ, DJ control, party lights, Bluetooth connection quality. I always try to go to the highest. And then once you navigate over to system, then you'll have additional functions, things like the lighting, if you want to make the light to go from wave to beat. So if you wanted to, go to the music, you can do that. Battery care features. So all of those are built into the app. And, when you think about where the future of this app is going, it is really the app that will be kind of the one app that, controls them all. Currently, obviously, we have two apps, and a lot of people have legacy products, so they're going to use the Music Center app. A lot of people are buying the newer products, and they'll use the Sound Connect app. But that's kind of what makes that, those features are kind of important.
I am very thankful that I can control everything out of one app. It makes it so much simpler. And I don't necessarily stick my speaker right next to me. It's usually sitting across the room. So being able to control that from my phone and not have to get up to move, it's such simpler for me.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So, before we wrap up, Ross, do we have any questions in the chat?
Well, we had a couple. So Michael Beckerman asked, do we have an estimate as to how long it will be before the Sony is able to consolidate the Music Center and the Sound Connect app? There's no ETA at the moment, to do any sort of, consolidating, because there's still people that have legacy products that are going to use the Music Center app. And then there's people that are buying our new Alt Series products that will be using the Sound Connect app. He had a follow-up question too about, speaker groups. Again, if you have speaker groups, currently in Music Center, and you have, if you want to make those music groups in the Sound Connect app, you can do that as well. As more of the new features come out and the apps update, maybe there isn't something like that in the future, but as of right now, we don't have any ETA on that. That's all I have right now.
Awesome. Awesome. And we don't know what the future will hold, but I'm sure that when you're creating the groups in the Sound Connect app, it's probably limited to your alt speakers at the moment, but we'll see how it goes.
Yep.
So to recap, we showed you what app to use, how to check for your firmware, and how to actually update the firmware on your wireless speaker. Now, at Sony, we have a wide range of products. So if you are ever in need of expert help, please sign up for a free 30-minute one-on-one consultation by using the link on the screen today.
Yeah, and if you think about, you know, videos you want to see from us in the future. So if you want to see a video from us that, you know, tackles things like you see on the screen here, you know, Alt-Field 5 wireless speaker, how to customize it for your environment, or how to pair multiple devices, or maybe it's how to use the custom EQ, or how to use the lighting. A lot of the videos that you see on this channel actually come from viewers just like you. So if you want to see those types of videos in the future, go ahead and put that in the chat. We like to monitor that, you know, and make sure that if there's something out there that we haven't talked about yet, that's the whole purpose of these, you know, Sony Simplified videos, is to just, you know, break it down in simple terms, make it easy to digest, and, you know, hit us up in the chat. We'd love to be able to add that. And don't forget to like and subscribe, obviously. You know, we want to make sure that, you know, if you check that notification bell, that way when the new videos drop, you know, you'll be the first to know. And like I said, you know, feel free to add anything here in the chat. We'll be monitoring the chat after the call today. And then, you know, we usually keep a pretty close eye on the chat, on all of our videos, actually.
Well, that's what, thank you, Ross. Thank you again so much for joining me today. It was a pleasure having you. I hope everyone has a wonderful evening. I'm Joe with Sony.
I'm Ross from Sony.
Have a good day.
See you, gang.